Does this space I'm standing in right now look familiar to you? Well, you may recognize it from the hit 2000s film, American Psycho. See, it looks just like the screenshots from its Steam page. Maybe you're more a fan of the sequel though. Maybe you're more of a cerebral type though. You want a thinking person's film. Well, we've got Dickster.
Are you crazy?
Maybe. Let's go. Oh, nutty nuts.
As bizarre as this might all seem, these are real Steam pages. I didn't doctor them up, and you can view them right now. All you gotta do is come on down to my used car lot and I'll hand you a piece of paper that's got all the hyperlinks on them. Some of you kiddos may not remember that not too long ago, Steam used to sell movies. Not too long ago kind of depends on how far away 2012 feels to you. So what happened? Why did Steam even try to do this? And what is the worst movie that you could buy on Steam? Well, I'm gonna answer all of those questions and so many more that you probably didn't wish I would ask. I had completely forgotten Steam had done this until I was looking through my library and I came across this gem. Now, I've never actually watched it, but it's finally time. I am so ready. I'm so hyped. I've, for some reason, not seen this despite how excited I've been to watch the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. So what happens when you actually go to launch the movie? Well, it doesn't play out of the Steam app. Instead, it redirects you to a web page where it loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. I was gonna do a bit about how it's still loading even while I'm editing the video, but well, looks like it finally gave up. Currently, if you filter by video on Steam search, you'll only be shown about 50 titles. A few of them are VR experiences, but there really isn't anything worth watching in here besides maybe Kung Fury. It's a far cry from what it used to be. Not this Far Cry though, which strangely won't play saying I need to update my client, even though it's playing in browser. Like, update Firefox? What do you want me to do? The range of options for things to watch was surprisingly broad back in the day though, if not a little bit random. You could watch Academy Award-winning movies like Manchester by the Sea, Hateful Eight. There really was a bit of everything for everyone. Snake Outta Compton, Norm of the North for the kids, Cougars Inc., basically every Twilight, but honestly, you just need the first and the fourth one. Those are the best. The first one's genuinely a good time. The fourth one, surprisingly fucked up. The part where she breaks her spine and oh my god, oh god, help her! Game Changers, whoa, Brennan Lee Mulligan. Leprechaun in the Hood, which honestly, disappointingly, not as good as I remembered it being. I thought it was funnier, but it's kind of just like a mumblecore film. It's just a bunch of people talking, and every once in a while, a leprechaun shows up and is like, I guess I'm gonna kill you. Wah! Honestly, I could spend minutes, hundreds of seconds even, naming all the random weird titles that showed up on Steam. That would make the pacing of this video terrible and it would be boring, so if you do want to hear it, please switch your audio track to
Cling
and I guess just rewatch the video over. That's like a thing you can do on YouTube now. You can just add like commentary tracks to your own video. Switch it to and if you're interested in buying my 2010 Camry, please change the audio track to I can tell you about, it's got some issues, but it's got a lot of love in it. And anyway, just switch to that audio track if you're interested in buying my Camry. A large amount of these movies came through a partnership with Lionsgate in 2016, which would lead to well over 100 of their films getting put onto Steam. There was also a lot of anime. They partnered with Crunchyroll back in 2017, and I mostly remember seeing random anime shows more than any real mainstream movies. There were a range of documentaries, tutorial videos, and a lot of low-budget indie movies, which led me to believe it maybe wasn't too hard to get your movie listed for sale, but after some searching, I could only really find an ad for a distributor saying they would help you get your movie on Steam. There isn't a ton of information archived on this topic, and a lot of it has been overwritten by new search terms with similar results. Searching for Steam video often just pops up things related to how to set a startup video on your Steam Deck. There's a similar issue with trying to find more information on the Steam Machine, the original Steam Machine. I know everyone is talking about the new one they're releasing and how it costs $1 billion, and it's not the first time Steam tried selling a PC or expanding their ecosystem out with hardware. The original Steam controller, Steam Link, and Steam Machine were all a part of Valve testing out the waters on where they could expand to. But the first Steam Machine was released to almost no fanfare and even worse sales. In 7 months, less than 500,000 units had been sold, and the project was kind of abandoned, along with the Steam Link and the original Steam controller, which, rest in peace, I loved that controller and I'm honestly stoked it's coming back. These devices, along with the increase of media outside of just games, was all a part of a coordinated effort to expand the platform, and I don't think it's a coincidence that after the hardware side failed, the home video portion continued to flounder and ultimately was phased out, with the whole big picture home theater focus kind of going away. Back in 2012, Indie Game the Movie was the first film that was released on the platform, and in trying to blend in with the other games on Steam, it came equipped with trading cards and achievements, and about a year after its release, it would even get DLC, which is just like bonus features. Movie achievements and DLC would not end up becoming the norm. One thing I did discover while continuing to peruse through the publishers of these movies is that Devolver Digital, publisher of actually published quite a few movies as they tried to expand their content offerings. Looking into this further led me to an old Reddit post where someone was talking about getting their short film published on Steam. I reached out to them, and despite the Reddit post being from a decade ago, he actually responded to me in under an hour. Huge thank you to Mark Green for all your insight and answering my questions. He got connected to Devolver Digital through the production company he was working with at the time. The production company already had a working relationship with Devolver, and he spoke positively about his relationship working with them, appreciating that they helped give an artist a chance. While he said having his short on Steam didn't specifically open up any new opportunities as a filmmaker, it legitimized the film by giving it a worldwide release. He didn't have exact sales numbers, as the metrics are still with the company that he was working with at the time, but he remembered it being in the hundreds. His short was available to buy for $1, so after the producers and Steam's cut, he figures his takeaway was probably in the low hundreds. And while that's obviously not enough money to live off of, honestly, from my perspective, it's pretty great for a short film. If you're a filmmaker, you'll know typically short films don't make any money. Some people like to call them expensive business cards. There just aren't a lot of ways for them to be monetized. Film festivals often charge you for entry, and if you get in, maybe you'll get an amount of money. If your film is awarded or ribbons or whatever it's called at multiple festivals, you're probably not gonna make anything close to your budget back. Most people see short films as a stepping stone, a really strong piece in your portfolio or CV. They can also be used as a way to shop around a feature film as a kind of proof of concept to try and show it to producers and secure funding. Ultimately, most people make short films just for the love of the game, because people like art, because it's fun to be creative, and maybe you have an idea that you just really want to see realized. Honestly, it's unfortunate that YouTube has such extreme restrictions to getting monetized these days, because it used to be a good platform to make money off your short. But if you're not already at the required thresholds and in the partner program today, you might not ever see a dime, even if your short film ends up getting thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of views. Additionally, YouTube's compression is just terrible, so that doesn't help with showing off your film whatsoever. All this to say, I think it's really cool that a platform like Steam opened up this opportunity for smaller filmmakers. I can't think of any major marketplace today where you can just buy a 10-minute short film for $1. And it's kind of crazy to think that people actually were doing this on Steam. You can see that while they don't have a ton of reviews, most of the films have at least one review, and a lot of them are positive. The pricing of these movies and videos was about what you would expect. The AVGN movie was $8 at the time that I bought it, but I got it discounted, so I only ended up paying $2. It's also worth noting that discounting was a little bit different on Steam, as overall pricing was different. You were allowed to sell things for way cheaper than you are now. The current requirements only allow you to sell something for as cheap as $1 and discount it down to 49 cents, but back then it was really sort of a Wild West. You could get games for literal pennies as developers just slashed the price like crazy. And I do think this played a bit of a role in the success at the time, as short films could be offered for just a couple of dimes, basically no money. And when you're already buying a bunch of stuff on sale, what's one more thing? Sadly though, in February of 2019, Valve officially announced the end of video content, stating, "For the past few years, we have worked on expanding Steam beyond games and software by building a video platform that supports paid and free video content. In reviewing what Steam users actually watch, it became clear we should focus our effort on offering content that is either directly related to gaming or is accessory content for games or software sold on Steam." In total, it lasted just under 7 years. I mean, it technically isn't over because you can still buy Indie Game the Movie on Steam, but it really sits alone, the last remnant of a period of time that has been completely forgotten. Also, while it is hard to find a lot of info on these movies as they aren't shown publicly on Steam anymore, a lot of the information is still there. It's just not searchable. The way I've found most of the store pages that I've been showing in the background here is through SteamDB. There's no way to verify if this list is complete or not, but it has 2,000 total entries on it. If I had to quantify this, I would guess that probably 30 to 35% of it is tutorials, 25% anime and TV shows, 10 to 15% Lionsgate films, and the remaining 30% being indie films, shorts, and a few other major releases licensed outside of Lionsgate. There are also a lot of bonus features that seem to be mixed in here that kind of muddy the waters and make it even harder to actually discern this data. Yeah, also those numbers are completely wrong. SteamDB actually lists like 10,000 entries for videos, but that includes random things like VODs, Next Fest welcome videos, other random videos from different gaming festivals. The only way to really narrow this down would be to sort through every entry, and there's better ways to spend my time. Or at least there's other ways I'd rather waste it. There also isn't any clear information on if there may be additional regional variants that might not appear on this list due to different licensing agreements across countries. You know, maybe it was just too ahead of its time, as video game movies and TV shows are kind of in the best place they've ever been before. We've got a lot of big budget studio projects that are generally crowd pleasing, and exciting new projects coming out from people who actually seem to be aware of the properties they're working on, critically acclaimed TV shows. You know, there's also kind of the usual crap that you'd come to expect, but even with all this media coming through today, I'm not sure anyone would care any more now than they did a decade ago if Valve were to try it all over again. I do think they'd have one advantage these days, mostly due to it being the best thing Valve has done in recent years. Or at least it was the best thing they had done before it became prohibitively expensive, like everything is right now. The Steam Deck has honestly been my main way of casually gaming for the last year, since I can play it while I'm away from home or laying on the couch or when I'm stuck in traffic. It's just relaxing in a way that sitting at my PC isn't, and being able to watch movies on this thing while I'm traveling or stuck in traffic would be, it'd be pretty nice. Although I guess you can you can already just do that by loading them onto the Steam Deck, like the desktop, and really the only benefit this would give you is having it just be a few button clicks away. Unless you're not able to download the movies through Steam anyways. Like if you're not able to watch them later, that would destroy everything about this hypothetical. I think Steam thrives as an incredibly convenient market where you can own a majority of your games in one place. And I don't think anyone really uses it for more than that. I know there's still software for sale on the platform, and clearly someone is buying it and using it, but I've never seen anyone I know on my friends list pop up that they were using one of these programs before. Maybe the one exception was like Source Filmmaker, but even that, how many people really use Source anymore now with Blender being so accessible? When it comes to movies, I can't say I exactly miss this. It always felt a little bit odd to me, and while it is cool that you could theoretically buy a movie by selling enough trading cards or CSGO skins, I've never been a big fan of owning digital movies is ultimately, in most cases, you don't actually own the movie, you're just getting a license allowing you the privilege of watching the movie you paid for until someone says, hey, fuck you, eat shit, dumb bitch. I'm taking it off the fucking platform, you stupid fucking baby. Fuck you, I fucking hate you. I'm a fucking licensing company. I'm Sony, I fucking hate you. I hate my customers, I'm Sony. Ooh, I fucking hate everyone. Crazy enough, while I was working on this video, it came out that PlayStation wanted to reaffirm how little anyone values your supposed ownership of digital media by announcing they will be deleting over 500 movies from people's accounts due to their licensing agreement. It's not just that they won't be available for purchase anymore, but they are being straight up deleted from people's accounts. To quote the Kotaku article, it underlines the risk we all take every time we buy anything from any digital store. None of it actually belongs to you, and you can only access it for as long as the company you bought it from says you can. It has been hours, days now, since I have tried to watch the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. I'm finding this bounding, swelling rage now building inside of myself. A cacophony of frustration as I am unable to watch this movie that I would, frankly, I just want to watch the movie. Myself becoming the gamer I merely wished to witness. My sycophantic rage building, my dictionary and thesaurus exhausted, my God, that's bright. I am staring right into it. What were they thinking? Anyways, physical media is king, and we need better consumer protections as we own less and less of our media every day. Also, I only have one data point here as far as Steam Video goes. I'm curious to hear other people's experiences. Was that a natural transition? Did you own a lot of movies or TV shows on your Steam account? And more importantly, if you did or do, can you still watch them? Is anyone else still able to watch the AVGN movie? Maybe mine is an isolated incident, and I'd be really curious if anyone could tell me how to fix it. I'd love to watch this movie. I'm not paying $3 again. I'm not doing it, James Rolfe. I'm not doing it. Oh, also, especially if you happen to be a filmmaker who released something on Steam, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to have a chat with you. It's so interesting to me. It's such an odd period of media, and I'm a little bit messed up about the fact that I will never be able to release my own short film on Steam. It's kind of like, what's the point anymore? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. And to answer the question I posed at the top of the video, Dick Dickster, that's the worst one. I'm assuming. I didn't watch them all.